All can play, many can compete, few can be great, but one can call themselves a champion. Tonight we find out which 11v11 Pro Clubs team will be worthy of that title. And to bring you all the action, the semi-finals and the grands at the end of the day, it's myself, Sir Pixers, joined by the wonderful Dan.
Good evening, and yes, happy to be here. I'm happy that I impressed on my debut last week, and hopefully we're going to have another great set of games for us this afternoon.
Absolutely. It's going to be 2 semi-finals today, followed by a grand final, although we can only follow the journey of one. Here is the graphic we see today. MISA Esports going to be taking on PFC 11 Elite in that first semi-final matchup. It appears to be that the Turkish and the Portuguese just constantly have those French teams to be the gatekeepers, because similarly, it's PCS Esports as your Frenchmen's taking on the very familiar Portuguese FC FAMALICAO. And they've both had quite the run to get to this point. It's going to be 2 legs of action to get themselves into the finals, where that will be maintained. I mean, it's penalties if that is drawn, and it's stressful in real life. It's close to matching, we'll say, on the virtual pitch as well.
Oh God, honestly, penalties, it's certainly not good on the heartstrings, I tell you that. But hopefully it doesn't get to that. We should have some good lineups. I mean, I remember watching FAMALICAO last week in their quarter-finals against Digital Esports in a game that was really back and forth for that stubborn German defence of Digital. And I mean, they went 1-0 down, they went 2-1 down as well, and somehow the Portuguese side still got through. So, you know, there's no easy game when you're in the last 4. Certainly
not, and they'll have quite the match ahead of them against PCS Esports, and we have quite the game ahead of us as well. It is MISA Esports versus PFC 11 Elite. Of course, as per usual, you're going to see your similar 3 at the back formations here for 11v11 clubs, although a little bit of variety this time. MISA Esports resorting for the 3-1-4-2, the 1 defensive midfielder paired with those 2 central midfielders, and of course those familiar wingers. PFC 11 Elite, though, going for what has been the golden standard in Pro Clubs for a few years now, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. It's the 2 DMs, it's the 1 cam, it is the 3-5-2. Running off on MISA, we've got our goalkeeper Mamadis defending alongside Guto, Alvarez and Guillem in the back. Your left midfield is going to be Canelo with, of course, Carlos taking the opposing wing. Your midfielders are going to be Guito, God by Goat and Alvaro. And then it is the dynamic pairing up top of Wembanyama and Unlucky Beast. However, notably, we noticed that the top scorer of the Champions League is missing. Opai Pele, who has been the player of the week last week, and of course has, I want to say it's in the double digits. It is indeed 14 assists to his name and also 6 goals to his name. That's a tough player to not see on the sheet, especially against this 11 Elite team.
Oh yeah, you're missing your top scorer, you're missing the playmaker as well. It's, you know, no matter who you are, that's always going to be a massive miss for your side. But I suppose that's where you need your other players to step up. You need them to, you know, pick up the slack, so to speak. And I mean, if anyone can, this MISA Esports team certainly can. So it's a big ask, but crazy stuff have happened.
Absolutely. And again, just a reminder that this is going to be 2 legs, and we will try and get those matches all on time and running smoothly. But of course, this is still FC26, ladies and gentlemen. There might be a few inconsistencies there, but as well, like we said, there is going to be that other side of a bracket to look out for. If the Turks of MISA can take down the French team of PFC, there's a real chance here we actually have an all-French grand final, which historically in PFL has been a pretty regular occurrence. There is just something about the French and esports that makes them so strong. I mean, I originally come from a Rocket League background, which is very, very French dominated, and of course that maintains here as well for pro clubs.
Yeah, I mean, this PFC elite team, just looking at some of the stats coming into this, you know, semi-final, they just seem to love playing away, despite the server disadvantage, despite everything you'd imagine being against them. They still come away with a victory. You know, it's including The win last time 2-0 away to Class, a win 1-0 away to Digital Esports, a 2-1 win away to Darkside Esports in the group stage. You know, can they lose away? Are they just 100%? It's, you know, a question that obviously will be answered shortly. It's just crazy, and that's with the disadvantage bearing in mind as well. It's just crazy, honestly.
But that's so valuable for a team to have in their locker that it doesn't matter what lobby they necessarily start on, you can back them in that second leg, that they can come back, they can make that difference, and of course qualify to those later stages. And starting as that away team in this opening matchup, you would say that that's somewhat of an advantage for a team. I'd rather try and come back on my home servers than the other side, but perhaps we should flip the script this time for PFC 11 Elite. Perhaps now they're the team that are necessarily playing out of book.
I mean, true, that is true. I think it is still advantage for the away side, though, at least going into that second leg. Definitely, you know, you've got the home advantage, and by that point, look, if they've got it within 1 goal, whether that be 1 goal down or 1 goal up, or even level pegging, they're going, well, actually, we've just had the tough game. We can actually go forward and be on the front foot here. But look, I mean, in terms of both formations being so similar, that's where you need either that mistake or that moment of magic, of trickery, and, you know, who's it going to be? There's certainly some players out there.
Absolutely, and one player I do want to highlight, I haven't spoken much about the individuals on PFC 11 Elite. This has been a team that's been in the scene for quite some time now. They are very established as one of those top dogs, a top 4, a top 2, a top 1. Certainly isn't outside of their history, and a lot of that, I must say, I got to give credit to the goalkeeper, Chris Baraz. I was a goalkeeper growing up here, Dan, and I love to give them the credit when it's due. It's very hard on the virtual pitch as well, but he makes it look easy, especially when you've got that defensive trio alongside you, Animal, Twans, and Raposa Vela. Twans is a player I've seen quite a lot for this roster. He'll take that central role. He's really got to lead those 2 defenders right alongside him when it's dangerous, when it's in the center. He's got to stop those low drivens, and often he is the player catching up to that mark. But the real pride and joy of this roster, as it should be in a pro clubs team, Dan, is the defensive midfielder, and Taziak is that stalwart player for the team. He did get himself actually a man of the match in the last performance for the 11 Elite. He's got to be absolutely everywhere. You usually have that player that anchors a little bit more than you have one that covers every single blade of grass. And here in that right defensive midfield position, he's proven that he's up to the task.
I will say, yes, in pro clubs, I was a midfielder, and I was more box-to-box myself. I liked getting the glory, but the unspoken role of, you know, the underrated role, you know, you look at your best teams in the world in history, you never really mention Sergio Busquets. You mainly focus on Iniesta and the Messis and everyone else who gets the goals. But the ability to win the ball back, and your job is just pass it forward. Just keep the ball moving. Give it to the guys who you know can change the game. That is so, so important, so undervalued. So yes, absolutely, we need to give credit to the defensive midfield, 100%.
And, well, it's coming from a French roster which has had such history of great box-to-box defensive greats. You think of the likes of Patrick Vieira, you think of the likes of Emilio Petit as well on this side. I'm really going to be keeping my eyes on him to see if he's going to be able to control the pitch from the midfield. But maybe the position that usually gets all the love here, Dan, is going to be that cam, that central attacking mid. And Berners Johnny has proven to be, again, just a metronome on the pitch. He's got a one that's going to make the chances happen. And of course, when you do catch yourself on the edge of a box, especially in a lot of these modern FIFAs, you actually do have a chance just to make a crack. As long as you have those finesse play styles, you've got that appropriate shot power, you can throw those into those top corners, which is why you do have to respect just outside those lines when you are playing in these top level matchups, because a player like him simply will not waste those opportunities. Chris Baras and especially those defensive mids on the opposing side have to keep themselves focused.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it's very rare at this level, especially this far in the competition, that you're going to have space on the edge of the box. But You know, when you've got a player like that on the edge of the area, you know for a fact he's not going to think twice. It's going to be one touch, bang, try and curl one and test the keeper. And look, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, we might see some crackers today. I certainly hope so.
What a place it would be to do it. We've seen many great goals in Champions League semi-finals. I think of the likes that have been scored in all the City and Real Madrid matchups that always seem to happen. I wonder if that's going to repeat anytime soon. Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is finally over. The semi-finals of the Champions League can begin.
It's an early ball forward, and immediately it's just, as soon as you lose the ball, it's about recycling possession and trying to stop the counter-attack on the other end. It's just going to be sent around the back line. Twente with the ball, he'll play it over to the right-hand side, and it's just important, at least for the opening moments, Pete, just to keep the ball and just calm yourselves down after, you know, you don't want to concede the kick-off goal, you don't want to concede the first chance of the game.
Absolutely not, and you can already see them trying to recycle the ball outside in the midfield, but you can see a lot of gold on your screen as well from all the quick steps. It's a great first touch, but a first save coming out for MISA Esports. They will be your team playing in the orange, PFC 11 Elite on the white. Spanish Johnny doubled up in that corner, and it's so hard to get that ball out, especially when you've got that byline behind you acting as that third defender. But Quintas catches the ball nicely. It's a few quick washing machine passes just outside the D to try and play the ball inside. And this is what I always like about 11v11 Pro Clubs, Dan. It can feel so slow at times when they're just buying those moments, trying to get that little bit of space. But as soon as something opens up, it's a rapid strike.
Yes, get that any out of here as MISA do forge their own attack, and it's a good early save. At the other end, this time for PFC, it's a good save across the goal, and it will be a corner coming in. And, well, first 10 minutes or so, we've already had a couple saves from both sets of keepers, and immediately Chris Barras making that save. And 2-1 for chances so far in favour of MISA, but still goalless. It is PFC going on the attack themselves down the right-hand side. Gustavo just decides to switch the play, and Animal has it now, looking for a forward pass, can't find it, using that left stick dribbling, but in the end it's intercepted, and now MISA will go up the pitch themselves through the middle, right on the edge of the area. Early shot in, and again Chris Barras is a third save of the game for him. And I will say, we mentioned the keeper before the game, and 3 massive saves could have easily found themselves a goal down in the opening stages, Pig.
Absolutely, 11 players on the pitch, and they say that a goalkeeper is the most vital. A single mistake and the entire team can be thrown away. Candeas needed that bruiser plus just to get himself out of that position. Does well. The play is switched towards that left-hand side. You see a huge defensive overload when MISA Esports are on the defense, and that can leave them susceptible to those positions if that space is allowed in the first place. There's plenty of space along that left wing, and it is that man Opai Pele across the unlucky beast, but Chris Barras once more gets his hand around the ball. That could have been goal 1.
Oh, we're on 4 saves already from the keeper, and I mean, look, if you're PFC right now, it is just about defence. You know, you're playing, we mentioned the servers, and obviously that disadvantage being the away side, and so far it looks like that is the case because they're the one conceding the chances, but it's just good goalkeeper movement in the end just to get yourself in the way and retain the ball. And we'll pass around the back looking toward the left hand side, but can't find an opening. Instead we'll recycle play, and it's in these moments where you need that you know, top level concentration, just not to give away a chance, just to make sure, at least when you're defending side, just to mark your man more than anything else. As instead MISA will play it down the left hand side. Guto with the ball, can't find an opening though. That big switcher play over towards the right hand side, recycle the play pretty well. Now it's down the right hand channel, early chance for a cross. Instead they'll pass it back and just keep the ball, but maybe it was a bit too obvious in the end as PFC look to counter attack themselves. There's a 2-on-1 if they want to play it. Instead, hold on to the ball. Opening on the right-hand side instead. Strong header defensively there from MISA, and it's very end-to-end so far, Pig.
Yeah, certainly. A lot of these 11v11 games can be rather close. This has certainly not been one of them. And Opie Pele, a player that we did not think would be playing today, actually does end up on the pitch. That's going to be a huge play to have. The most assists for the roster. This time, though, it looks like a player on PF11 Elite will be looking to pick one up for themselves. Quintas! Oh. The crossbar denies the first chance. A second may fly in, but Coco looks to send it to space. It's recycled back. And now 11 Elite, they have wounded the opposing side, but still, no blood is drawn. The counter is on.
Absolutely, and I mean, well, somehow we're still goalless. There's been saves, and now just crashing the woodwork on a rocket on the edge of the box, and you just think, will it drop down in time? Early ball sent in, headed away, not fully cleared away, though. Shot comes in.
Oh.
There was that many bodies in the way. Oh, it would have taken something special to get through there. And there was like 3-4 white shirts in the way there. And, well, I mean, I don't really want to say one team's getting away with it, because another day, this could easily be 1-1, even 2-2 at times. Both sides have had massive opportunities.
Absolutely, but a lot of that has been wing play from MISA Esports. 11 Elites has actually been a lot on the counter-attack. Dybala will pick this ball up. It's a 1-2 play between them. Now lays off to that third option. And now it's all outside the box. You can see just that 7-man bunch up inside. So hard to just create those gaps. You see a lot of attempts, though, with the dribbles, especially with those lofted through balls as well. But Taziek hasn't been able to find those chances. The player I mentioned for his man-of-the-match performances in previous weeks, not being able to create a difference in this first half, though there is still time, opportunities for this to be the last attack. Danny Quintans, pacing along the wing, shows off that bit of flair, manages to offload to Romano. Now inside, doesn't reach the offensive player. It's more quick tiki-taka passes, though, outside the box to maintain possession. Remember what I said about last attacks. These have always been dangerous.
Well, there's a man on the overlap on the left-hand side. It is Canella. Can he get an early ball in? He'll run to the byline, try and send it in, but it's frustrating. It's just that early pass at the near post. It was marked the entire way, and there's no minutes of stoppage time, so this will be the last attack. Where they want to send it straight in, they will to the early post, but in the end, Animal rising up, and that will be that for the first half. And it's, well, somehow still 0-0. There's been so many chances for both sides. The woodwork's been hit. Couple keepers have made really some worldies in there to somehow remain goalless. And, I mean, it's too close to call after a quarter of the game has been played.
I'm really struggling to pick favourites out of that opener, but so much of that is credits to the likes of Chris Barras on PFC 11 Elite. I feel like he really stole our hearts in that first half. A few opportunities going wayward for MISA Esports because they just could not beat the keeper. And I did note a few moments of somewhat frustration from them. I think of that very outside of the box opportunity that Chris Barras was forced to come out for. And we spoke about how those opportunities don't come very often. When they do, you'd usually prefer them to be a little bit closer outside the box if you want to see them find the back of the net. We also see that the second semi-final has only just kicked off its first leg, so we will be able to keep up with that after this second half. But still, looking to see that first blood be drawn. We've come close on a few occasions, but any opportunities have been very quickly cauterized.
We certainly have, but I will say I'd rather be in the PFC Elite camp so far, at least be in the away side. And again, you know, we mentioned the latency, but it's so important in these competitive games. You'd rather have it on your side than not. So 0-0 at the moment, it being the away side, you'd certainly take that going into the second leg, but you'd much rather get the victory as well, as they do win the ball just inside their own half, looking for a counter-attack. But they've lost it in a dangerous position. The 3-on-4 in favour of PFC. They'll recycle play. Cherky on the edge of the box. He'll play it to Camella on the left-hand side. Can he find the pass into the near post? Yet again, that pass into the near is so obvious, and you think you have to mark it, and it is marked on that side. And, well, yet again, MISA, I feel like they're just burning their chances every time, going for the obvious play, if that makes sense, but instead they do have it now on the edge of the box. Cherky plays it inside, and it's off the post again! Again, it hasn't gone in. And somehow Chris Barras, he's counting his lucky stars there. because surely that should have been the opening goal. But somehow, luck was on his side. That low-driven left-footed shot crashing the post before, fortunately, going back into the keeper's grateful gloves.
That is diabolical, and there's no distinctions between the left and right foot. Most of these players have made their builds 5-star, 5-star. You just have to get that aim on. I'm not sure if he was using that precision shooting, but if he was, he's going to be kicking himself. He might get his second opportunity, though. It's unlucky beast outside here. Usually one of your more central strikers forced to tip themselves out this time. Carlos Corrales. Oh, that one is straight towards an 11 elite defender. But this has been a big switch in pace. You would call MISA Esports the clear favourites now, but you're right, it has been rather route one. Crosses not too effective when it comes to FC. It's usually that run to the byline, send that ball back, and you're usually doing well. But with these more manual defenders in 11v11, they are a bit harder to come off the back of. It is well recycled this time, though, from 11 Elite, who we're still waiting for the first real opportunity from in the second half, and that won't make it happen.
I mean, there's a mistake there, and I will say, at least so far, Twanze's really playing well because he's the man who's reading the danger, and he was one of the players, obviously, you mentioned in the build-up, and with good reason as well, but do lose the ball now. MISA have it on the edge of the box, but the flag's gone up. It is offside, and I felt that was a bit of an opportunity wasted there because they had numbers forward, and, well, certainly PFC had players out of position. There was bases to be ran into and potentially a shot towards goal, but well, 67 minutes still goalless in the first semi-final, first leg. Obviously still got another game to go, so there's a lot of football yet to be played. Big switch over towards the right hand side. Candeas with it, plays it inside to, in the end, no one, but Dybala does manage to recover the ball, but potential counter-attack now for MISA as they do have a free man on the right-hand side. They will use it. Carlos with it. Tries to play an inside pass, but Pele plays over to the left-hand side, and it's shot towards the near post. It was straight at the keeper in the end, and who is there but Chris Barras yet again, making another easy save on that occasion, but he still have to make it. But MISA are going to come back. Driving Pele, but in the end, three bodies round him. Just swarmed him in the end, couldn't allow the space to shoot.
And this box defending still allows Cherky out. And that cross won't make it through. Oh, hold on. The rebound, though, goes to Pele. The header is attempted. But again, it's such safe hands from Chris Barras. And whilst the last opportunity, I felt like, again, was just a moment of frustration, shooting a little bit early when they had time to build up a bit more. That one was perfect. And still, the keeper manages to get his hands on it, and 11 Elites continue to not really have any foothold in the game. And of course, they are the team currently standing away, albeit 27 ping. We are watching from one of their perspectives. This should be playable for them, but is it going to be just a matter of that efficiency? It's 3 against 1, though, in that corner. It's going to be hard to escape. That's got to leave space elsewhere on the pitch. We've decided the defensive third is exactly where that stands, but Kabasi steps up quick, and as quick as they manage to grab the ball, you can see all 11 charge forward.
Was forward. Oh, but Twanze, brilliant bruiser there, just to shrug his man off the ball and go, thank you very much, I'll take that. And a really good clearance, actually, deep inside of the MISA Esports half, forcing them back, trying to win the ball deep inside their own half, but they will manage to play out towards the left-hand side, but it's a poor pass, intercepted by Brookie. Can they recover the ball? Taziek plays over to the right-hand side. Instead, we'll just keep the ball ticking over. Now, Danny Quintero, he's trying a little spin there, trying to work the space and see if he can get a shot towards goal, but...
Oh, that one tipped out. Mistake. Oh, that was almost dire.
Oh, there's 2-3 bodies as soon as they lose the ball, and well, that could have been a very dangerous mistake to make, but really good football there from MISA, but they can't. Again, there's just so many bodies in the way. It needs it to be perfection, if anything, to get through, but good ball down the right-hand side. Cristivo with it. Oh, that's beautiful. Brilliant bit of skill. Does recycle the ball out. Now Taziek into Quintans. Can he find a space to shoot or even get a pass away? But in the end, they do so well, MISA, just to keep the ball alive and win the ball back. And we're approaching 90 minutes. Will we have one last chance? Maybe not.
Oh, yeah, that one not going to make its way through, unfortunately. Was off balance, and even with long ball plus, that's going to make that pass difficult. Unlucky Beastfo has a pass here to Kamela, has two in front, can't dribble his way through, went for that straight up shot. It couldn't break its way out. The big clearance comes through, and I believe that is going to be full time by the end of the first leg. It is a wasted opportunity for MISA Esports on the home side, especially with how competitive they were in that second half. But he's going to be left to that second leg with the presumably ping disadvantage to see if they can chase that game back. But we do have some results to look at on the other side of the semi-final here, and it is FAMALICAO up 2-0 within the first half, and it was almost an extra one here for the stream.
Yeah, I mean, 2-0 up. I don't think many saw that coming into this game, but that is the position they find themselves in. But could we see a goal just before half-time over the bar?
That is
the bar
brutal.
From PCS. Oh my word, that would have certainly changed the half-time team talk if they had got that over the line. Instead, it is 2-0 at half-time in that one. And, well...
I was waiting.
You saw that coming. I was waiting, I was like, hold on.
I don't know what MISA Esports was doing there. They wanted to send that one to extra time. I'm not sure if... they have the option to quit the game early. I unfortunately haven't played pro clubs in a few years myself, but they will be preparing themselves for that second leg. And it's a very different tale for both of these teams. MISA Esports certainly won in the possession portion of the pitch, but still couldn't break their way through. And 11 Elite, when they had themselves in the attack, I actually felt like they were using those opportunities a little bit better, Dan. They were more creative in the few opportunities they had, and that does take a degree of bravery. If you have your one opportunity of the entire half, you'd think you would keep it simple, you'd play on book, you'd run towards that byline, you do all those familiar plays that we saw MISA Esports attempt time and time again, but no, the right stick was getting a little bit of wear and tear, and they left MISA shocked in a few opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, when the thing is, MISA had a lot of chances, and, I don't know the actual player ratings, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Barras was certainly up there, because he had everything to do, and he's made so many saves. In particular, I'd say in that first half, where it was very end-to-end, he's made 2-3 massive saves that you go, okay, you could easily found yourself 1 or 2 goals down, but instead it's kept the side in it, and now we'll be looking into the second leg going, well, we've had the disadvantage of that away leg, whether obviously the ping played its part, but now they're going to be looking at it and going, well, there's no reason why we can't be on the front foot, because normally, at least at this level, normally we see the away side try and defend and hit them on the counter-attack, and then we look at the other end and see FAMALICAO 2-0 up. So, there are so many different ways to play with that away side, with that disadvantage. And, so far, I think PFC, if you'd said 0-0 going into the second leg, I think they would have taken that every day of the week.
Absolutely. And I believe as we're on the topic of potential away disadvantages, we are actually watching away perspective here. It's also that familiar 30 ping that we saw the likes of PFC 11 Elites having in that last matchup, and they have certainly made the most of it, although great save there coming from Eddie. It was offside regardless, but this is a huge start for FAMALICAO, who again, no real strangers to going all the way and picking themselves up championships. They're probably the most iconic 11v11 pro clubs team in recent times, and they're certainly proving it. I mean, taking down the French Titans with what has looked like, honestly, relative ease from the little bit of gameplay we've seen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so far, at least going into it, you'd just say for the second half, just defend and try and solidify that 2-goal advantage, as they are mucking about at the back, hoping... actually, never mind. They've played themselves out so well there. I just saw the keeper nod the pass 15, 20 yards. I was like, "Ooh, it could be a bit shaky territory, but they do manage to recover the play. And now the second leg for MISA Esports and PFC is back underway, as now PFC are the ones obviously with that advantage, and instead it'll be MISA on the counter-attack. Could we see the first chance inside 3 minutes? Cross early towards the left-hand side. Recycled now into Cherky on the edge of the box. Can't find a fellow yellow shirt, and in the end, PFC will come out with the ball, looking to spark an attack themselves. Now Brookie with it, looking for that big switch over, but Pele intercepted it. Instead, they will just pass it along their own back line, the responsible thing to do, before eventually it is shifted over towards the right-hand side. But it was read like a book, and now I'd say there is a counter-attack on, but I don't think there was in the end, because they were just so congested in that midfield third of the pitch that no one could really get the ball out. But really good passing football by PFC. Do manage to knock the ball about. 1-2 touch stuff. Can they have a shot in? Player goes down. Penalty. No, says the referee. But eventually MISA do manage to knock the ball out of play. Was that a pen?
What?
Ooh.
I think it was. I will be completely honest with you. I think MISA have gotten away with a chance there. That one's offside, and all of a sudden, that attack completely diminishes. That must be so frustrating for the 11 elites. Now having to face that counter-attack and its many well-timed runs forward. Alvaro will hold it back, that pinged pass, getting as much use as possible, but Pele unfortunately can't drag that ball back. The tackle comes there first. It's great play out the back from Candeas as well. Twanzevo has been that player to take control, and one part of the gameplay I've been really impressed from overall from PFC 11 Elite. Not those long balls to the wings for a lot of these chances. That's, I believe, twice they have done that. We saw it at the end of the second half. But it's how late they wait to offload their passes, and it is the perfectly timed amount oftentimes. That one certainly wasn't. Pele now has some inside space. Canella just wants to pick it up. Cherky gets it on the outside, but three players right in front, forming that perfect blockade. And that won't see them dispossessed. But it's how late they like to time these passes, and especially in the offensive third when you've got those quicker, more dribbling stats up players. They are so good at losing that ball. But here's that play out wide, and Dan, this is looking dangerous again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're jinxing them with how much you're complimenting them playing out from the back. Honestly, trying to get your point across. They've lost the ball twice, but you know, it is that high risk, high reward gameplay. Really, you know, you beat the press, and all of a sudden you're at the opposition defense looking to try and have an attack yourselves. But it's if you can beat that press, and you know, so far the last couple of moments, MISA have got a bit of joy, but couldn't have a clear-cut opportunity as PFC on the right-hand side, and it's that man on the right-hand side. He just couldn't quite pirouette himself out of danger in the end, but Twanze just recycles the ball and does manage to win his side to throw in, and it's important really for them just to keep the ball more than anything else. At least when you try and build up, you know that the opposition are going to press you, but it is down the right-hand channel of the pitch. Recycle Brookie into Dybala! Outside the boot, but it's going into that far corner. But Danny Vieira, good keeper movement just to confidently catch the shot. Would have taken something special there. And, well, Dybala certainly tried it outside the boot as well. Certainly would have been a special opening goal of this semi-final clash. Animal now has it. Early ball down the left-hand channel. Headed away, though, from MISA, but can't recover the ball. It's just going to come back as a bit of head tennis. Ball's up in the air, more than on the floor right now. But in the end, PFC do come out. Dybala looking to try and get a shot, but he had a split second to think about the ball before all of a sudden there was a man on him, pressing him. And in the end, play is recycled all the way back inside the PFC half of the field.
Those were the two chances. Easily the two chances of the two legs so far. All falling to 11 Elite. We spoke about how they can be efficient once they get themselves in this space. That shot was hopeful from Romaninho, but you can see those fly in, especially When all those playstyle pluses activate, they really do dictate the direction of a game. Coco.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh my goodness, finding Unlucky Beast. This looks dangerous once more from Carlos Corrales, but that offload a little bit too slow for my liking personally, and it is back to PFC 11.
Yeah, I mean, they're the one looking better on the front foot as it is on the right-hand side of the penalty area, but can't quite recover. Dybala's already had a couple of shots and tried a third effort, but it's a good block there by, I believe it was Kabassi in that crowded penalty area. And, oh, Dybala's the one that's got a couple of chances so far, and look, another day, he has a goal in this game, but somehow, again, it's still 0-0, still all to play for. Animal now with PFC 11 Elite, but loses the ball out, and now Pele, good hold-up play from him, and now MISA can build and attack themselves. Played into Pele, first touch, plays it over to the right-hand side, early shot in, blocked once, then twice by PFC Elite, and now it's turning into a bit of a basketball game. Dybala plays it over to Brookie. Right-hand side is where it's going to go. Cristivo, is he going to bring out the party tricks? No. Sent it over to the far post. Headed away, but still not fully away. Taziek on the edge of the box. Intercepted by Cherky. Here's just a case of get it anywhere you can. Dybala tries to play it down the right-hand side, but yeah, it's just going to come back, and now MISA can't quite find that opening. And, well, I mean, potentially does it just come down to, you know, that tiredness, or maybe on the transition, because neither side are getting any bit of space so far.
Oh wow, 0 minutes of extra time. It is called immediately, and again we see one team dominant in a half, just not being able to tuck their chances away. And it was again that PFC 11 Elite on the offense, just not being able to pick up pace. They're very much a first half team, it's starting to feel like, Dan. They dominated that area of the game when it came to that first leg. And of course, that second half was so heavily in favor of MISA Esports. If that continues, they've got a fair bit to be concerned about. Of course, the away disadvantage will still be on that MISA side moving forward, but I just think of those two chances right in front. The Travella opportunity towards that far post, well caught, of course, by the goalkeeper. But as well, the one where it just looked like a clean one-on-one. Surprise, it's a 1v2. The second man right behind has just been able to get those leg extensions through to get that tackle. And frankly, Dan, I thought that was it. I cannot believe that that was even a possible defense.
Honestly, I mean, how we've not seen a goal just in this tie more than anything else, it's crazy. It just goes to show, though, how well defensively these two sides are, which, I mean, I don't think many would have at least predicted it. I don't think many would have wanted it more than anything else. We'd like to see goals, and I mean, this is one where, look, it's a 0-0. I'm sure most managers will be looking at this and going, oh, this is great, because both sets of defences have really just cancelled out each other. And you know, this is where it will come down to that moment, that mistake, as there is an attack for MISA down the left-hand side, but in the end, can't find an opening. It's just about keeping the ball, passing it from side to side, and an early ball in. Pele can't quite get the ball, and Twanze just does what he can, just get rid, but it's just going to come back in that sea of yellow. Now it's into Pele. Surely it is the opening goal. Yes, it is! Finally a goal in this tie, and it is Pele with the goal for MISA. And well, PFC live to rue those mistakes as they look to try and counter and get a goal back themselves. You're most vulnerable when you've just scored, but instead MISA are going to go up the other end, try and get a second. But I think for now it's just keep the ball, because at the moment, Pig, they've got the lead.
And that's goal 7 for his season. Continues to shoot his way up the goal scorer statistics. He is that top scorer for MISA. He's the player who, at an idea of his absence, was our entire topic of conversation before this first leg even began. The impact can certainly be felt. The stats can be shown on the pitch. But MISA have that opportunity to extend. You're calling for a more defensive game. They're looking to go the other end once more. It's Unlucky Beans back to Pele, and it's 2 on the trot.
Wow. Well, I mean, they call him the king in real life, the great Pele. Well, I think he's the king of MISA Esports right now. Absolutely brilliant there. 2 goals, and wow, PFC just completely shell-shocked. They've got it all to do now. Looking to go up the other end. Shirky's there to intercept, where eventually he'll just get rid and clear, but the referee will call it back. And, well, I mean, we were asking for more goals in this tie, Pig. All of a sudden, we've got 2 like a London bus. We've had to wait for so long, and now we have goals to celebrate.
That was wondrous. A far-range strike. Just a straight-up power shot towards that near post. And the goalkeeper, who we've given so much credit to, couldn't get on the end of it this time. The other side might be tested, but the defense gets there first. I believe that's one of your defensive mids getting back. That header, though, looking dangerous. But look at the cool, calm collect from Kendeas. And now that has the chance to create an offensive opportunity. But it's end-to-end. You called it basketball earlier. There's going to be no concerns of a shot clock violation. These have been quick counters.
Well, it has to be end-to-end now because, well, all the pressure's on PFC. Yeah, 2 goals down, and at the moment, Hart heading for a semi-final exit. And, well, they have to go for it, but then it, you know, it just leaves them certainly open at the back. But the chance in the edge of the box took a deflection off of Kabassi. But it does go right side of the post, and it is going to be a corner. 66 minutes on the clock. Still 2-0 to MISA.
Oh,
Ball in, sent towards a near post, cleared away. And, well, Canella does recycle play, just slows it down because, I mean, I said the defensive approach just because of that kickoff glitch, you know, the kickoff boost that does come your way. Honestly, you want to avoid it. But Kabassi, bit of a hospital pass there, loses the ball out. Dybala, 2-1, and 1 mistake. That's all you need. And, well, you can be composed all you like, but you lose the ball in a silly area, you will be punished eventually. And Dybala, 2 massive chances missed in the first half. He finally takes one in this second. And now the deficit is cut in half.
And he took advantage of that panic as well. Took an extra moment just to put himself on his right foot. There was a bit of goalkeeper movement as well to that near post, so he went far. And now you can see the gameplay has just completely ignited. 11 Elite have nothing to play for anymore, but purely goals for the final 18 in-game minutes. Final being, of course, a prerequisite. They're looking to cut away.
Absolutely brilliant this for the neutral. Alvaro has the ball. The space is on the left-hand side. He'll play in Canella. But for now, it's just recycle play. Cherky into Pele. Will he want a hat-trick or recycle the play? Lucky Beast looking for the right-hand side. But PFC, they're just swarming them all over them like a rash, trying to win the ball back because it's just desperation more than anything. Win the ball back. First thought, attack. Now they do have it. Romaninho down the left-hand side in the end. Run down a cul-de-sac, but they do have it. Berners Joni plays into Dybala. Early ball in, and it's 2-2 out of nowhere! Unbelievable! 2 goals down, 2-2, and well, that was just a quick transition, and now we are back to square one. We wanted goals for this half, didn't we? We've got 4 now. Unbelievable stuff.
135 minutes of completely defensive FC, but a second leg, second half has to deliver. I was about to say we've seen 4. We almost saw 5. And there's something in the air tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Are we even going to reach that extra time mark? There is no away goal advantage. It is purely what you see at the top left of your screen.
Again, the keeper's made a massive save there. You know, the mind games there, because do you go for the low driven? Do you try and just hit it normally? Long ball over the top of the defense. Keepers stay back in goal. Canella does square it along. Great block. Great block from Animal. It would have been a hat-trick for Pele otherwise. He had to make it. There were so many bodies in the way. And Animal was the one that got the vital block. Coco now has it. Plays an inside ball. Lucky Beast over to Pele. Canella. Good save from Chris Boras again. How many times have we said that in this tie? Unbelievable stuff. And now it's a corner. Chris Boras, even in the second leg, he's still been quiet by his standards. And again, another save from the goalkeeper. It seems like a broken record, me, because all I keep saying is a good save from the keeper. And Cristiano, Cherky's there just to pick the ball up and send it into touch as far away as he can. 90 seconds of normal time, plus however long we're going to have of added time. I mean, are we going to get a couple minutes or so? Who's going to get that last chance? Could it be MISA as they have the ball inside the PFC half? Just recycling the play over from right to left now. Canella has it, plays it into Pele. Now it's on the right-hand side of the penalty area, and in the end, it's just a swarm of bodies and cleared as far away as you can. And I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I think that might be it for that. And extra time will be needed. But what a half we've had, Pig. Unbelievable stuff this is.
A wonderful half. It's definitely been the best one to watch if you like the goals galore, if you want an offensive matchup. Out of nowhere, this leg became exactly that. But of course, two semi-finals happening at the exact same time. It is currently goalless in the second. I wasn't able to catch what the final result was. Never mind. FAMALICAO was ahead last time we saw them. They've done it yet again. Picks that near post. The keeper doesn't even have the time to dive.
I mean, you jinxed it. It's not goalless anymore.
Apologies.
The nod down into that penalty area, and you can't let the ball bounce there. You're just waiting for it to be knocked in. But I mean, wow! I mean, what a half we had of that MISA Esports and PFC 11 Elite. I mean, I'm just thinking of the Martin Scorsese absolute cinema meme, because that genuinely was absolute cinema. That was incredible. 4 goals. It should have been a lot more, I tell you that. So many great saves and blocks from either side. And, well, I mean, we're going to stick with this game because we've had 4 goals in a half. And now, into extra time, are we going to see some more? Or is it going to be the dreaded P word and penalties? Because we are going to have a winner here no matter what.
And this is, of course, to qualify themselves to the finals of the Champions League. And we have seen both of these teams at times at their very best. And even when they do fall short, they're able to compete against the very best in the world. Dybala to Burners Johnny. They've activated the burners with this attack. It's Romaninho with the cut inside. Gets the Berber. Goes for the long shots. But the driven stays the wrong side off the post. It's a quick goal kick here. Well, would be quick if it would load. We'll get back to that very, very soon.
I mean, so unlucky with that low-driven effort. And, well, another day, that certainly does go in, but just wrong side of the post. And, oh, PCS, for them, 1-0 down, entering this second half of the second leg. And, I mean, it's one where they're kind of chasing a mountain here, trying to climb their way up it for FAMALICAO. It's just a case of just hold on to what you got. Go on the counter-attack, because you certainly know you can score goals. The amount of goals that they've scored in this Champions League season thus far. Early cross in though, good save towards the near post. Beat it away there.
It's great chances for them, and we are looking to get that other game back, of course. But unfortunately, a little bit of stubbornness coming out, and well, we've seen a lot of stubborn defending today, so of course, all other services are going to be there to match as well. We will be returning in just a few seconds to that action, but my goodness, what a day it has been. This is certainly delivering.
As PCS look to try and cut the deficit, and in the end, quite get it. Oh, it's 3-2.
It is 3-2, ladies and gentlemen. We just missed it. But it is the comeback kings. It's PFC 11 Elite.
2-0 down, 3-2 up. They could be heading to the final as things stand though. But MISA trying to make the difference there. But unbelievable stuff this is, because, I mean, at 2-0 down, we were just asking for MISA maybe just to keep the ball, play it responsible. And instead, they do find themselves a goal down with, well, about 15 minutes or so to go. Oh, come on, they are going to have this corner. 1 minute added on. We're into the third.
And, well,
do you want to...
It's got to be direct.
You want to play it short. It's sent straight in, headed away, though, from Twanze. The second ball sent in, headed away yet again by PFC 11 Elite. The third bite of the cherry, headed away yet again.
Wow. What a way to round off that first half of extra time. It's the team on the comeback. The team that looks to be on the drop, facing elimination. Now inflicting that very same pain onto their opponents. And it is second halves all round. We spoke about this game potentially ending first. But PCS have just grabbed one back themselves. It's more signs of equality.
Well, can they? Can they? We've seen one comeback. Well, maybe, potentially looking to see another. But FAMALICAO looked to try and get a goal on the return. Didn't quite work the shot away in the end. It was well blocked in there by PCS. As a will look to try and get a second. And will they? Yes, they will. It's a mistake at the back from FAMALICAO. And out of nowhere, 2 quick fire goals. Has certainly changed the head on that one. And talk about quick fire goals. Straight from kickoff. MISA out of nowhere. It's just a long ball forward, route one stuff. But they've kept the ball alive. And, well, what a finish that is. And now 3-3. Unbelievable. Absolutely brilliant game this has been. And what a tie it's been as well. It's just... we said all we needed was goals after that first game. All we needed was goals. We've got 6.
Absolutely. This has been a ridiculous run of games at the moment. This one certainly heated up, and it is official now, Dan. We have not missed the winning goal in the matchup we have been watching today, but I'll certainly be touching word after that one. Animal, he's let that ball slip, and there's so many men forward. He's got one on either side, but it's Pele all alone who could just take it instead. Chips it to Alvaro Carrez!
He's done so well.
Such a good catch. Plays it fast under the keeper. What more could you ask for? That could be the final goal, the one that sends them to that opposing match.
Well, I mean, they've celebrated as if that might be the last one, but I'll tell you what a brilliant final pass by Alvaro in the area, because I think everyone's expecting him to shoot, but he's passed it on, played it to his teammate, and he's looking to try and get another assist here. Long ball over the top, and Lucky Beast has it. A goal here will surely seal it. Instead slows it down. Pele's blocked it on the line. Unbelievable. Oh my, how's he done that? How has he done that? If you score that, it's a winner. Surely you're through. But instead, they are still under the cosh with 5 minutes to go. And unlucky Beast. Well, he was unlucky there because his own teammates blocked the ball from going in. Maybe Pele wanted all the glory himself. Maybe he just didn't know the ball was coming. Regardless, it is still kept alive. Animal passes it on to Dybala. Come on, 2. And why would it fall to a centre-back in the area? Danny Vera just saying, right, lads, calm down. Never in doubt. There's a long ball forward towards the PFC defence. Headed away. Animal keeps it alive, but Cherky, brave defending there. Alvaro knocks it long. But it is just going to come back. And PFC, 11 Elite, they've got a minute or so to try and find another equaliser, to try and take this to penalties. But I think that might be it, though. Long ball forward, flicked on. Animal.
Hold on.
Is it block 1? Still not fully away. Crossed in. Sets in. 4-4. We do have an 8th goal. We will have a penalty shootout. Unbelievable stuff. And oh my word, what a game. And it's still not done. We're going to a shootout.
A game of football decided by the head. And they'd been going for those crossing opportunities so often. And only then did it bear fruit. The first strike comes through straight down the middle from 11 Elite. This is where it gets its most tense.
He's already scored 2. And he scored a penalty as well. How's your nerve there? Now second penalty for PFC. It's tipped around the post. Can it be advantage MISA? Yes, it can. Emphatic. Top bins. How do you like them?
I'd like Kelly.
Advantage.
Oh my goodness.
It's a good save from Danny Vera, and 2 saves there for MISA. Can they have a 2-goal advantage? Yes, they can. 3-1 up after 3 penalties each. This is to keep your side in the competition. They're still in it. 3-2. Score this and you win. It is that simple for MISA. He sends the keeper the wrong way. And well, this game has had everything from massive comebacks from both sides and a penalty shootout as well. And are you not entertained as everyone celebrates in the goal net? And, I mean, understandably, you're going wild because you're in the final.
Poetic that it was Carlos to get that final goal. He got the final one in regulation. But my goodness, what a penalty shootout that was at the end. You can't fail with a Chloe Kelly penalty. It was an excellent way to end this first result. But of course, there is another semi-final which has just come to an end. And I believe we're actually going to have to wait for an update to see how that one ended. But there is going to be no complaints whatsoever, Dan, about the matchup that was selected to be shown on stream. It definitely took its time to start heating up, but my goodness, was it scorching hot when it was served.
Absolutely. I mean, we had that goalless draw in the first game, but there were certainly chances from both sides, and we're like, okay, we're just waiting for it to erupt, just waiting for something to come our way. And well, we got 2-goal lead by MISA, and we thought, okay, they're through to the final, happy days, comfortable as you like. But I don't think PFC 11 read the script, because all of a sudden they've turned the game on its head, 3-2 up, and again we thought they're comfortably through, that's it. And everyone's already looking into the final, but this esports team from MISA, they never say die, do they? And
no.
I mean, wow, what a game. What a game.
It has been excellent, and the other game was in fact decided. I will be getting that on your screens very, very soon. Of course, we did see a few goals from FAMALICAO, but PCS, they were starting to heat themselves up, and that can get you concerned if you are a certain roster. Were they able to pull off the comeback? Will we see a huge return from the French teams in this grand finals? Unfortunately not. FAMALICAO take it 3-2 overall with both legs combined. And that will go on to decide this final matchup. It is going to be FAMALICAO versus MISA's. We somehow, I believe, don't have a French team in that finals. And they had all the best chances.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really give credit to both sides that have obviously made the final. FAMALICAO, I mean, just honestly, they're just a goal-scoring machine, aren't they? Coming into this. I mean, look at that route to the final. All they do is score goals. And, you know, 2-0 up in that away game. So, obviously, again, how many times do we talk about playing away from home? You have that disadvantage of the lesser ping, but they've made it work in their favour. And, you know, when we watched them, they were 3-0 up over the 2 legs. And, obviously, PCS made it 3-2. And that's where you can see some teams crumble. You can see some teams fold and potentially get yourself knocked out. But they managed to hold on, unlike some of the teams, and are now obviously in the final. So it's going to be a great matchup. And I mean, after that 5-4 of a semi-final, I don't even know what to expect. I don't want to predict anything because you just can't really. You just can't.
Absolutely not. I mean, these are the clear best regions as well to be represented in this finals outside of France. You've got the Turkish team of MISA and, of course, the Portuguese side of FAMALICAO against each other. And I'm not too sure how much time will be wasted before we get themselves into that next game. I don't know if the players do have the opportunity to give themselves a break. But, of course, the matchup was initially scheduled for that Q2, so I'm sure there's going to be some final registrations, and then, Dan, we're going to be able to crown ourselves a champion before we know it.
Yeah, wow. I mean, absolute cinema of that semi-final. I just want another great final. I mean, it's going to be certainly interesting. Obviously, both sides go for that 3-back, and it is just where you're going to have that individual who's going to be the hero. I mean, in that semi-final we watched with MISA, I suppose you'd say Pele with 2 massive goals to really give them that 2-goal advantage. But, you know, FAMALICAO will obviously look to try and have a say in that final as well. It's so close that, honestly, I think we need a break more than anything else. We need to recover and get our breath back, because it was just so high octane from both sides in the end.
And I believe I'm just checking the chats right now, and the players have been given the go for them to get themselves in the lobby, but I do see that there is some time being taken by the teams themselves, who I'm sure after all of that high octane action will be looking for that moment of just calm now. Certainly the calm before the storm with the 2 teams that are facing. MISA are just one of those teams that can, out of nowhere, create an attack, and they are relentless. They'll keep it going. You'll really have to work your way outside the box if you want any chance of a counter-attack yourself. The younger brother who rushes the controller out of your hand and refuses to give it back.
Yeah, well, yeah, I will say, having a younger brother, that is the perfect analogy. It really is. And yeah, this MISA side will make you work for it, really. If we're going to have a winner, it is going to be a hard-fought battle between the 2 sides. And look, it's one of them where it could genuinely go one or 2 ways, as obvious as it sounds. We're either going to have a ton of goals and everyone's going to go for it, or it's going to be a manager's dream where it's just defence. But, I mean, we saw that in the other semi-final where, I mean, looking back at it now, you'd probably say that it was the first leg was just the 2 teams trying to suss each other out. Where are they weak? Where are they strong? Okay, what do we need to do to avoid losing the ball in those areas? What can we do that actually the opposition don't know how to deal with us? And, you know, in that second leg, it just all blew up into life, and all of a sudden there was so much space all around the pitch, and that's obviously brought us some entertainment, brought us some goals and some great saves as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if that first leg is going to be a tight affair, and then in the second game obviously we'll see some action. This
feels like it's going to be the definition of an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, as every finals should be, especially when you do have this Champions League format. They have really been putting in the work to get to this point. I actually did have the opportunity to commentate some of those group stage matches a little bit earlier down the line, and that did include the likes of FAMALICAO, that did include the likes of a lot of these French teams as well, but it is going to be a complete absence here in the final, and more of a showing here to see what MISA especially can show. For me, they are the underdogs going into this matchup. FAMALICAO are just a team that have earned themselves that respect over all of the time they have spent playing, and they've got a lot of talent to really bring that together as well. You think of the likes of Lonzo Ball, who are one of the top assist makers, and looking back was actually one of the top performers in the recent games played today as well. He's also been their highest scorer throughout the entirety of this season. So him against the likes of those on the other team are going to be a bit of a clash, especially because Mamadaz, in goalkeeper for MISA Esports, he's definitely had his moments in form.
Yeah, he had those moments where you go, if the keeper wasn't there, you're certainly conceding, and, you know, you're probably going to lose this guy, so...
Oh. I'm unsure if that's just on my side, but if the stream is still going, that is fantastic news for me, ladies and gentlemen, because that means we can at least keep moving forward with today's action. But I do see a rather familiar formation on the side of FAMALICAO. So the 3-5-2 been rather dominant when it has come to the pro club scene for quite some time now. But we do see a bit of a resurgence of the 3-1-4-2. The 1DM paired with, of course, those 2 centre midfielders right alongside. A bit flat, a bit defensive. But of course, when you are playing the likes of pro clubs, you can get a bit aggressive with how you play with those centre midfielders. I can tell you for free that FAMALICAO themselves are using 2 box-to-boxes in that role, which is somewhat ruining the surprise I had for you. They are also playing a 3-1-4-2, so that looks to be the real set meta here in the Champions League over here in PFL. 3-1-4-2s, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get the boys together and play some matches for yourself, potentially set yourself up to compete in some of these leagues, well, you know the website to go to, you know the Discord to ask for support, but that game is going to be starting any second now. I can see them queuing their way into this first match, and before long, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be able to crown ourselves a champion. Unfortunately, that was the death toll of Dan going off there, but you still have me tonight. So luckily, I am the one on the production as well, so there will still be a feed to watch, but the moment is now, and you can feel the tension, ladies and gentlemen. This is the moments they've been training for. It's not easy to get 11 players together, to get them coordinated, to get them ready to compete at the highest level. But we have got 22 of Pro Club's finest put together for this finals. We have had kickoff. We have an early attack as well coming from MISA FAMALICAO. Make sure to clear this ball out early. But here, Alvaro gets it back to 97. Cherky takes it forward. Potato does use his right stick to flick that ball up first, and did initially beat his defender, was eventually caught up to. Nogs, Damaso passes it back to GX, but you can see that high press, which was familiar in the semi-finals for MISA Esports, start to get established. Potato forward, Cherky tackled off early. Nate looking just for a passage of escape. The Afros don't connect this time, however. You could see that times run forward. It's a great intercept coming from Ney. Haji will take it in the centre of the park. And you can see that Miliciao, wanting to play with a little bit of width out of defence, immediately was spread open. Haji was actually the most central player at the time. And he is a bit more of an offensive player for them, seemingly. Blobby gets it towards that left centre-back Darmso. EX will reconnect in the centre. I believe I do hear a sign of life. Dan hopefully returning with us very soon. We'll watch this game unfold. Corrales back to Arallo. Potato has it on that right-hand side. Has players right behind him. Has that strength to hold him off. Alvaro takes it across. Cherky does weave that way into the box, but that clearance comes out quick from Miliciao. Alves plays it back to Haji. And now on this right wing, they look to course their way forward. Now turned a left defensive wing for the likes of MISA Esports. Potato out wide. Ball rolls coming in. You see the La Croqueta. But Nogs isn't beaten, and that chance just stays stalwart. Doesn't commit any heavy dives towards one particular side. Just holds that jockey button. Waits for that play to really open itself up. And plays towards those high percentages. Of course, these are players that can take that bit of risk. They are allowed to break all the fundamental rules just because they are purely good enough. But the fundamentals are there for a reason. You want to play that high chance pro clubs. Ball forward, Corrales again to Alvaro. We've seen a lot of those link-ups on the right-hand side. And as soon as it does find its way in the box, oftentimes it has been a rather quick intercept there to follow. Alves, though, first real opportunity coming forward for Miliciao, and that is an unfamiliar sentence. A forced strike, though, straight to the keeper isn't going to make all the difference. That's safe hands from Danavera again. And all the likes of MISA Esports. This is going to be one of those defensive opportunities that you really wanted to stamp towards your opponent. If it was one chance, one goal, you don't want to seem weak, you don't want to seem leaky, you want to try and lure your opponents to take some more risks against you, and that's when those counter-attacks can be so dangerous. This definitely could be described as one, although they are taking a bit more time to get this ball central. Alves takes it out once that bottom left corner. Saved yet again by the MISA keeper. And well, if the first shot was a taster, that one was definitely the first paid-for meal. Had to respond quick. Krimi out to Blobby again. There is space there. That back post looks exploitable. But Guto won't let it happen. Damso loves to use those high chipped-up touches for himself. Johnny Down to Haji again. Just looking to play this ball out the back, and we have seen that they are rather patient in that regard for the play to open up, because when it does, they know that anything can ignite. Danny Vera once more. Unbelievable.
Hopefully I am back.
Hello.
Hi, I'm back. I know, I'm sorry. I'm back. But yeah, what a great save. And I mean, hopefully I've not missed too much of this final. Hopefully it's been more entertaining than me trying to set everything up again. But regardless, at least we are back here in full follow. And now MISA looking to try and open the scoring. But in the end, FAMALICAO just defend. And I mean, my prediction, at least before I was cut off by my own computer, was the first leg was going to be fairly tight. It was going to be both sides trying to just cancel each other out. And, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Pig, but has it been like that in the opening few moments?
Well, if you joined here a few 10 in-game minutes back, perhaps, maybe even 15, it would have all been MISA. And really, FAMALICAO couldn't get themselves a foot in the game. It was as soon as you got yourself back in the Discord call and back to see the gameplay on your screen that you were seemingly the lucky charm here for FAMALICAO, because those scales have started to tip.
Oh, lovely. There we go. I don't want any sponsorship, though. It's okay. I'll take it. But regardless, I mean, MISA obviously are going to be the home side and will look to try and take advantage of that. Cherky, though, just losing the ball there, and FAMALICAO look to just recycle the play and try and make a chance themselves, this time down the right-hand side. He's switched over, but in the end, Camilla does knock it into Alvaro. Now a counter to their counter-attack. Tato on the left-hand side does play it over, but in the end, just cleared away, and it just seems that I'm just a bit delayed on the actual stream, but Canella has it on the left-hand side, just looking for an early ball in. Instead, we'll just recycle play. Now Cherky on the edge of the box, tries to play 1-2, but Haji's there to read it. But there's no out ball for FAMALICAO at the moment. It's just going to be coming back, but they do lose the ball. FAMALICAO looking to spread the play. Now on the left-hand side, Crimmy running with it on the left-hand channel. Will he send an early ball in? Good roulette, but it's just into Cherky in the end, but he can't play it out. Haji has it. Does recycle it out to Nay. Does clip the ball over to the left-hand side of the penalty area, but will go out for a corner. Oh, goal kick, sorry, in the end. Thought it was a corner.
And I believe we're getting educated here on a little bit of Portuguese. Not FAMALICAO, it's FAMALICAO, I want to say there in chat. Thank you very much. Of course, we do want to give these teams the flowers they deserve. And yes, be sure to correct me if FAMALICAO is not quite, or FAMALICAO perhaps. Let me know. But definitely been an electric start from both sides. The first leg comes to an end, and it feels a bit similar to the semi-final we saw before, Dan, where I'm not sure the score sheet is necessarily reflecting the excitement that we actually did see on the pitch. There was plenty of action compared to that 0-goal mark.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously I've only seen the second half of the first half, so I don't have too much to go off of, but FAMALICAO certainly looked better as the half went on, and I think it is just the case of both teams trying to really suss each other out, trying to see if there's any weak points that, you know, the opposition can exploit. And so far, I would say that the Portuguese side have at least got the better half of it so far, but there's still a long, long way to go. And again, how many times have we seen a game where it's, you know, it's nothing, and then out of nowhere, just that moment of magic, and all of a sudden it sparked everything forward. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that again. FAMALICAO will kick us off for the second half. A long ball forward, nodded away by Canella, but Alvaro does flick it on further. But in the end, it is recycled out. FAMALICAO have it. Big switch over towards that left-hand side. Just a case of just recycling play, just knocking it from left to right, right to left. Keep the opposition moving. It's on the right-hand side now. Will they send an early cross in? No. Instead, play it towards the edge of the box. Blobby has it. Good roulette, but just tackled in the end. It's a right idea. Now Nay has it. Early ball in towards the keeper. A less than convincing punch. And in the end, MISA do well just to clear the ball upfield, but well, certainly could have seen a mistake in there because it's not a convincing beat away from the keeper.
Oh, that one was close as well, but just about too high for him. There we go. We finally got by the end of the first leg, the mystery of the Portuguese found out. It is Famalicao locked in forever now.
I swear I was saying that as well.
Yeah, I think it was me who was doing it wrong, I'm afraid, Dan, because you are the one that knows what you're doing around here. You are the legend, and you have made all the correct calls so far as this series has unfolded. Absolutely. Potato, though, tackled really safely from Nogs. A little bit of incisive played. Cherky, though, keeps it on the wing. And legends looking to be made here in this finals. It could be Corrales! Outside the 6-yarder. A ball falls on his lap. And all you have to do is rifle for the back of the net. Keep it simple. Keep it clean. Keep it back home for Turkey. 1-0 in the first leg.
I mean, 1-2 touch passing. It's just keep the ball moving. Keep the opposition guessing. And it's a great finish. A cross goal. And, well, it's all to do now. The comeback kings of Famalicao this time. And in the end, it's just a great finish. But it's just simple football. It's 1-2 touch in the end. And a long ball forward, looking to try and clear the ball. But, I mean, it's just rebound central at the moment. Who can get it clear? Canella, in the end, just knocks it as far away as he can. But Famalicao just will keep the ball ticking along, keep it moving, send it, just keep it inside their own half. A big switch over towards the left-hand side. But goal scorer Corrales done intercept it. Now Beast has got it. Looks into Corrales again, but it's a poor pass. Intercepted by the Portuguese side. But again, it's a poor pass. Neither side able to really keep a hold of it in the end. Just pure pressure that's going on. Beast has it on the edge of the box, but that roulette not getting anywhere in the end. And now Famalicao look to try and send a counter-attack, but will just keep the ball. Hadji now on the left-hand side, driving forward, looking for a forward pass, but I think that was where his teammates are probably saying, pass me the ball, send it down the line. Now Alves plays into Ney. Now Hadji, across goal. Good block.
Oh, that's another scary chance, but hold on. The play has been called. A penalty has been gifted by the referee. And that's a chance for Famalicao to equalise. Blobby leaves it for his teammate. Crimmy will be the one to take it. A 75 penalty stat. It's going to be one to look out for. He goes right, the keeper does as well, but it's still not enough. Crimmy, here's that satisfying sound of the back of the net. Say his name, say their name. Famalicao equalise.
Oh, it's so frustrating as a goalkeeper. You guess the right side and everything else, but, I mean, doesn't matter with that 75 penalty stat. It just matters if it goes in the net. And as soon as they had lost the lead, all of a sudden, they get it back. And, I mean, I'd love to see that penalty decision again. I really would, because it seemed so weak.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a small, well, assumed grab of the shirt, really, whether he was holding X or circle. It didn't look like he'd hacked his man to ground, so I would like to see that one again. But look, Famalicao won't care one bit, will they? It's 1-1 out of nowhere, and again, playing the away side with that host disadvantage. Albeit we can see the ping is about 18 at the moment, so it's not too bad. But obviously, regardless, being the away side with that disadvantage, you want to make it count going into the home leg. So at the moment, you'd say it's a pretty good job, well done. But it's not done just yet, as MISA are passing it around the back, and they're certainly playing on the heartstrings, aren't they, Pig?
Absolutely. I felt like they were going to lose the ball there, to be frank, and that would have been a heartbreak to end what has been such a tight first leg, such a high-level first leg as well. I feel like I'm not seeing too many mistakes ahead of me outside of those roulettes, which, I must say, not a single one has really landed anywhere favourably, and it has me curious actually if they're attempting a flare roulette or even the likes of, oh my goodness, what would have been quite useful there if they could have caught the ball. Those flip-flaps which open up so much space, your elasticos, which every single year it seems like have a huge impact on plays just on the edge of the box and getting yourself inside. This time though, not making the difference. It is going to be Roy's over on MISA Esports to take this ball forward. Cherky plays it close. Tato holds down that lateral pass, looks to widen up the play, stretches actually the defense just to get it right back inside. A little bit of flair as well for the outside pass. And it certainly was brave. They could be punished rather quickly here because now Crimmy has possession. And I see a big man at a back post. Won't attempt it. Guto make sure that any mistakes are cleaned up rather quickly. Nicely plastered.
It was the man who got the equaliser in that semi-final for MISA. And, well, he's doing his defensive duties as well. But MISA potentially looking to try and get the last attack of the game. Cherky on the edge of the box, but blocked by Johnny before Crimmy gets rid. And we've got about a minute or so, plus however long stoppages, and there is certainly going to be one last attack, maybe, and potentially it could be a MISA one. They took the lead before they're being pegged back, and they're on the right-hand side, trying to recycle play. Looking for a forward pass. Will he go for the long shot? Plays it into Alvaro, but it's just a whisker wide of his mark, and in the end, that is going to be that for the first leg. But what a really good game. A really tight affair as well. And, well, again, like the first semi-final that we watched earlier, it is far too close to call.
Absolutely, but it's still got a little bit of a different tinge to it. It's not been a goalless start. We have seen some blood drawn. I believe that was 5 shots on the side of FAMALICAO and only 2 for MISA Esports, but they kept themselves consistent once the chances did fall to feet. But I find a lot, especially when we are talking about pro clubs, especially here, Dan, that these games do just tend to somewhat tip away. They all of a sudden start to switch at the finest moments, because for these teams, getting in the box when there is 7 crowding around is usually too tall of an order. That's what makes them so special when they do eventually find their way in the back of the net, and when we do have 4, 5, 6 goal thrillers like we have done earlier today.
I mean, yeah, they certainly don't come around too often, and I mean, a couple of times I will say for FAMALICAO, they've had the ball on the right-hand side or on the left, and you think, just send an early cross in. I know obviously at times, you know, it doesn't seem the prettiest way to score, but if you test the defence, you never know, and that's, to me, it maybe could be something they need to look at. But, you know, so far, I think it is job well done. You know, they've nullified MISA to only those couple of shots, and look, you know, the penalty decision, on first glance, it didn't look like a penalty. It looked pretty harsh, in my opinion. But you make your own look, is how I'll look at it, and certainly how they're going to look at it, you know, because, well, it got them their equaliser, where really at the time it was looking very, very close. And now, with home advantage and a chance to be Champions League champion, why not grab the bull by the horns? Because they've got every reason to go at MISA, and you know, they had more shots being the away side, which obviously I know it's not impossible and it's not a rare thing to see, but it shows that they're there to be got at, and that, you know, they can go out there and, you know, whether it is, the only thing is I will say is that there's no real, they didn't make too many chances from open play. Because a lot of those chances were just long balls, but they were blocked or they were saved. So, you know, you can't rely on a penalty all the games, is what I will say.
Absolutely. It's been one of those FCs for another year in a row, which does feel rather counter-favoured when you are that defensive side, just sending those long balls forward, making sure you have those rapid pluses, those quick step pluses, and those first touches as well, which most of the players on the pitch do have a form of, especially the offensive players usually have that first touch plus and a quick step alongside it. And that's kept them consistent, and it looks like we are going to have a remake there. And for now, I believe we will put a beautiful face and mine on the screen whilst we wait for that second leg to get itself sorted. But one thing I do want to note is we did have a little bit of a look behind the curtain there for FAMALICAO. Some role changes being thrown in for the team.
Yeah, a bit of shuffling about, which I don't know if that is a rare thing to see in the pro clubs esports.
So certainly, it feels certainly strange when you're between legs of a grand final to change who's taking the corners and who's taking the throw-ins. You'd think you'd usually have that one locked down by this point, but the actual, in-match roles, you still have your box-to-boxes, you have your advanced forward, nothing there has particularly changed, but just getting rid of that one click of the trigger to change who your taker's going to be. They really want to make sure it's set in stone. They want to keep all focuses purely on the grass.
Yeah, I mean, is it one where, like, when you're going for the free kicks or the corners, instead it's like, no, we're not going to send it in, we're going to potentially try and play our way into the box?
Potentially.
Maybe there is some method to the madness. So, I mean, how many FIFAs, at least recently, have we seen it? Or not EAFC, sorry.
Yes.
Where you have to take the short corner and pass your way into the box because everyone and their mother moves the keeper on the penalty spot and goes, go ahead, cross the ball, I will catch it. Like, so you have to play smart, for lack of a better word. You have to play smart, and maybe that change of roles is because they want to play it short. They want to try and work their way to the byline, R1X across the penalty area, or try and play it out to the edge of the box and manage to work the space there. The possibilities are endless. But maybe that's the reason behind it. It might just be they don't want the lad to take corners, and they're like, you know what, no, we're going to change it. So it could be anything, honestly.
Well, a factor that we actually haven't mentioned so far is typically with pro clubs, and you'll know this if you've been playing on the more natural ladder, the 6'8" strikers and centre-backs, which really do dominate the park. However, I believe for this competition, sometimes we do see playstyles banned temporarily, playstyle pluses or just your greys. This time there is absolutely nothing off the doors regarding that. However, there are height restrictions based on what formation you play for these 3 at the back formations, so you don't have to worry about 4 and 5 at the back because realistically no one plays them. For 3 at the back, it is your centre backs do have a max height of 6'2", and every other player on the pitch has a maximum of 6 foot. And it does follow pretty similarly. I believe for 4 in the back, your 2 centre backs can be 6'2", as kind of 1 defensive midfielder, and then the rest is 6 foot. So that will be the standard, and I've just been absolutely baited. Well, we will have to wait longer for that second leg done.
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose it gives us an opportunity to just talk about our own pro clubs experience. I mean, what was it? I mean, when was the last time, at least for pro clubs, what position did you play? Because, I don't want to say it says a lot about a person, but come on, where did you play in pro clubs?
Oh, Dan. This was not good. There was only 4 of us, so there were not many options, unfortunately, but I wasn't a bad player on the team, but I was definitely definitely second or third worst. I played right striker, and I was, out of the options of 4-1-2-1-2-2 we used to play, I was the striker you try your best not to pass to if you had the opportunity.
I mean, fair enough. I was just I'd play in the double pivot, and mine would be, I would make a run forward, and then all of a sudden I see my partner in midfield also make the run forward. So I'm like, okay, I have to cover him back. Right, I'll track back, and then he'll track back with me. And I'm like, no, we both have to do the opposite job. So that was my role. I was the box to box. Yeah, can't say I'm anywhere near as good as these lot, but
Absolutely, these guys are unreal.
It's not about that at that level. It's about having fun. But
Okay.
obviously for these lot, it's certainly a lot more serious, and because of that, they're simply amazing, aren't they?
They really are. And I do have word here. There was a complete restart, actually, from one of the players. I believe it was Nashaw, who is the POV we've been watching. So I got a little bit scared when I saw that stream go down. But he has returned here, ready to play this second leg. There has been a bit of a break between the first and the second. And hopefully that's some time for a little bit of the nerves to be shaken off. But now, with that first leg technically not even being a factor in the second outside of seeing how your opponents play, there's a lot more, I would say, condensed pressure in this second matchup. It is all fully reliant on how these 90 minutes of regulation go, and of course that potential extra time, and as we have seen previously, penalties. We have kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. There have been no pauses on the screen, but no, it was someone else who left this time. We are left waiting.
Oh no, you had me. You had me.
They had me, Dan. They had me.
It's fine. It's fine. So we can talk about something else.
Oh,
no.
unbelievable. I mean, it is just like it has been. Realistically, Dan, as far as pro clubs 11v11 productions go, especially with a little bit of lack of support there is for it, especially, this had been a very smooth running stream. And now it's decided just before that second leg, just before the big crescendo to... Instead of crescendo, it has just crashed instead, which is close,
very nice.
but not quite what we're looking for.
Well, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can't really say much. My laptop went off during this. I can't really complain, can I? I don't really have a leg to stand on. But, you know, regardless, it's fine, you know. I mean, one thing I will say, obviously, the more time that passes, the more matches that are loaded in, you know, every player that loads in there are all anticipating it to be the one, to be the game that it's like, right, we're off, we're underway, come on. All that adrenaline, gone. It's all drained. To then load in again. Wait for one person or two people, however many, you know, couldn't make it to the previous game. And all that does is it just builds up. And all of a sudden, that adrenaline, you've got to try and remotivate yourself again. Because you had it. And then you're like, no, it's gone. It's gone. We can't play it. We've got to load in again. So, I mean, look, we're on take 3 now.
Yeah, indeed. So, it's a lot of pressure put on the managers here, on the captains as well, to be able to bring in all of that energy yet again, because I'm sure the likes of Alonso Ball, for example, who is listed as the captain for this team, at least on the screen I'm looking at right now. So whoever is the leader on FAMALICAO has probably had to say the same speech twice, maybe 3 times. Who knows? They might have to do it a 4th and a 5th if this keeps on going. And how do you switch it up each time? Surely this is the part where you just start laughing, right? You just have a little bit of fun with it and wait for business to be business when you're at maybe minute 10. Yeah,
I mean, look, I don't really have a playbook of motivational speeches, but yeah, at some point, you will just go, lads, come on, you know, what's the point here, you know? The thing is, they all know each other, they're all friends, and that's where I don't think you'll need too much motivation. Obviously, you're in a final, but it is just going to be about remaining calm more than anything else, because... You know, you don't want to be that person to miss a penalty, to make a mistake, to lose a pass and it, you know, go into the back of your net. You don't want to be that guy. So it is just keep your heads, just play your game, because both of these sides clearly have proven they are more than good enough because of the goals that they've scored, because of the mistakes they haven't really made up to this point, whether it be trying to play out from the back or try and work the space and find that goal scoring opportunity. And yeah, it's look, you know, the only thing is I will say is that we're getting a bit impatient because we're just waiting
I'm raring
for
and
this
ready
game.
to go. And,
honestly, it's so close to call between the two, and especially after that first leg as well, where, you know, even when it was 1-0 to MISA, I don't think many were thinking this was the end. You know, we were waiting for potential opportunity, and obviously FAMALICAO got that equaliser, and now it's where are we now?
Hold your breath.
Hopefully.
Hold your breath.
I'm not
We've got
saying
a kick
anything.
off. I'll wait for it to at least have some seconds go past. Don't want to jinx it. This is looking awfully promising. Turkey's already inside the box. Curry makes that tackle, and I feel like we're poised past that point of no return. There's been no pauses on that throw-in. I believe we have it. The final primary 90 minutes of the Champions League to take all the marbles. No first leg to rely on. No away goals. It is this match or bust.
FAMALICAO looking to try and take first blood.
Oh!
Yes, they do. What a finish. They got the ball on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Low-driven pass into the edge of the box. And however many bodies were in that way, it didn't matter. It's a great finish. Top corner. And it's 1-0 to the Portuguese side in the opening 5 minutes.
One team's managed to keep themselves cold. The ice is still frozen on the side of FAMALICAO. And they've been left out in the lukewarm for quite some time now. And we'll just have to see if MISA Esports can come back off what is going to be a really devastating goal to concede, because it was just too easy for FAMALICAO. Usually you see a lot more struggles inside the box. He had acres of space to just send that rocket across. Beast is on that first ball, ended up running away from it. And I believe he had a super cancel accidentally activated. Krimi is on, has two options on that far post. Alves will be the one to pick it out, doesn't let it leave his feet. Wanted that extra shift to the left-hand side. That's straight into the defensive player, Hajj. Roulette. Alvarez gets that ball out, and there was potential for a foul to be called there for a defensive free kick. Instead, play remains alive, and a ref this time doesn't make it all about him.
Which is probably something we like to see. We like to see the play continue as FAMALICAO play it towards that left-hand side. But yeah, it was far too easy for FAMALICAO in the end, you know, because there was just so much space. And it's there again. Blobby, he got the assist for the opener, trying to repeat his mark. But in the end, it is defended by MISA, but it will only come back. FAMALICAO comfortable to keep the ball, keep the possession in their favour, and try and just whittle down this MISA defence that, you know, has looked shaky in the opening exchanges so far, but potential counter. Cherky plays it into Potato, trying to find that pass into the edge of the D, but in the end it is blocked off. But did that dribble out of play? Yes, it did. It's MISA ball down the left-hand side, but Cherky does the same and dribbles the ball out of play, and he needs someone to just calm down, keep the ball, and potentially, at least from FAMALICAO perspective, switch the ball to the far end, but there's no out ball. Alvaro has it, plays it to Corrales, into Cherky, Potato, block comes in by the goal scorer. He's going to come back. Cherky has it about 10 yards away from the corner flag. Canella was the target, but in the end, was just sent down a cul-de-sac, and will come back though. MISA, Cherky, twisting, turning, trying to find the space into Alvaro on the edge of the box. Decided not to play it, Beast, but Alvaro has it on the edge of the box again. Plays in Potato. Cleared away by Johnny, and yet again, it's just going to come back. But Hadji pickpockets MISA. Alves, Johnny into Hadji. Picks his head up, plays a long, lofted pass towards Blobby again, but it's intercepted now. MISA will come on the counter. Beast with it into Alvaro. Beast again on the right-hand side of the pitch. Plays a Potato. Cherky. And in the end, it's offside.
I believe so. I didn't see a foul anywhere on the edge of a box there. That was a strange one to watch go away. But it's so interesting the way MISA are at that time.
was going to say, sorry to cut you off there, but just FAMALICAO, they just need to slow it down, and that's what they like to do. Like to have possession, but they do win it back here. Hadji driving down the left-hand side of the pitch. No one's there to tackle him. Sends it into Blobby. Not fully clear the way, though. Alves twists and turns. It's a great save. Down to his right. And he's out for a corner. FAMALICAO had to withstand a bit of pressure from the away side, but come up the other pit, or the end of the pitch, and a massive chance themselves. Head away from Guto. Now Blobby on the left-hand side. Headed away again by Alvarez, then Alvaro. Canella. Responsible thing to do there. Just keep the ball ticking for MISA, trying to find that equaliser.
Beast now.
With it now.
Oh my goodness, that was a scary opportunity. Johnny was able to get that initial block, and I've been given some context here. This final, of course, is about more than just glory for these teams. There is about €1,000 prize pool they're competing for in this grand final. That first goal we saw in the first 10 minutes, that could have been the €1,000 shot. Blobby will look to try and extend that lead. That is an intimidating run, but a ball roll just gives enough time for that defender to catch up with him. Johnny will keep it out wide here. Hadji wants that cutback, but a bit of strength from Corrales is shown. A bit too much, according to the referee. So it's going to be that wide free kick, and despite what was changed before, they have changed the free kick taker to a little bit of an in-swinger.
It has to be all mind games at this point, honestly. I had all that spiel talking about potentially playing it short, and I've just thrown out the window there. Sent in, and just headed over the bar. What a chance! Well worked, that was.
I hate to see that one go awry.
All it needed was a glance, and in the end, just over the bar, and potentially a let-off for MISA. They can't make it count. They do lose it now. FAMALICAO just knocking the ball about inside their own back line, and at the moment, we'll certainly take that. At least as we approach the half-time whistle. Now towards Blobby on the left-hand side. Just too much for him. He'll go out of play. Cherky with it. Looking for a throw-in. Blobby wins first contact. Then Hadji. Felt he was fouled, but Cherky wins it fairly. Beast now. Now to Alvaro on the right. Plays a 1-2 with Beast, but in the end, it was a bit of a panic there. He just tried to pass the ball, get it away, but FAMALICAO don't care one bit. Alves has it. Trying to wait for teammates in support, and, well, it was won by MISA, but given away cheaply, I'd say, for a corner. 45th minute. How many chances will we have this half? Could this be the chance?
Oof. Always feels like there's that potential. But this one's played short to Blobby. Out wide, just send it long, but Alvaro is able to clean up and has managed to offset it to Potato as well. Corrales is on that run, and Nella quickly gets himself involved, but it's a quick rush back from FAMALICAO. This could be the last opportunity of the half, and it would be one to equalise instead, though Alvaro ends up feeling the pain of that whistle. And they are saved by it for the time being. Second half still left to be played. Potential for it to be the final 45 minutes. And I wanted to talk about the way that MISA time their attacks. They like to prod a lot of holes, but they don't commit unless they do see a clear opportunity. And you compare that to FAMALICAO, that have just been sending chances across and then pressing quickly to maintain possession. It's two very different styles of play, and ultimately, I don't really feel like we've seen that stress test to the maximum. We mustn't forget, that first goal was scored in the first 10 in-game minutes.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And, you know, you mentioned the change in how they're approaching it. FAMALICAO are just sending it forward and asking questions later, really. Whereas it seems like MISA are just trying to build the perfect goal, really. But is that, you know, poor attacking on their part, or actually more better for FAMALICAO's defensive line? Because at the moment, yes, it is chaos when they go forward, but actually when they come back, everyone comes back. Everyone knows their role. And so far, I've really stopped MISA from making chances. But Canella has it on the left-hand side of the area, and Zinni's there. just to get a body in the way, and it will be a corner in the opening stages. The second half for MISA. Goal down in the final. First leg was level, and that corner comfortable for the keeper in the end. And this is where FAMALICAO will do what they do best, and it's just keep the ball, keep it ticking along, because at the moment they need MISA to press them. But there's a mistake there. Cherky picks the ball up. Alvaro, Cherky again into Canella on the left-hand side. And he's shot towards the near post. Easy for Edu. And I said take risks, and he certainly went for it with that shot. Maybe it wasn't the best idea, but certainly a right direction there for MISA. As Cherky tries to send it down the left, but it's too much for Canella. Will go out of play for a throw-in.
Every second counting from FAMALICAO. I noticed it when the keeper picked up the ball. They have done for the throw-in as well. It's only the 53rd minute, and things can change so fast. But Edu stretches as far as he can go. And that looked to be a rocket for the top right corner. But he is the interceptor. There he is again off the cross. Well collected. Quick out from his own net. And that is 2 game-changing saves. That could have been the equaliser for MISA. And I'd go as far to say it should have been.
It really should have. And I mean, you can have all the best attacks in the world. You need that defence. You need that keeper behind you. Otherwise, you're going to score 5 and concede 6. As Potato has it. Now into Canella. Right inside the penalty area. Decides to recycle play. Good football here from MISA, but can't find an opening. Canella. There's so many bodies in that area. Just no one can get the space. And in the end, it will come back. And 60 minutes have been played. Half an hour to go. Cherky into Canella. Back to Cherky. Alvaro on the edge of the area. Trying that either needle pass. And it will just come back. And FAMALICAO, they're leaving 2 up top. Looking for that counter every single time they get the ball. But can't find the outball just yet. Cherky has it. Play it eventually towards the right-hand side, but Hadji's there to intercept. Crimmy, good hold-up from Alves. Now Zinni with it. Alves is making a run beyond the last man, but instead Zinni does so well there. Just a winner throwing, relieve some pressure, but Alves, I felt that was a bit of a waste, really, of the throw. Yeah. Surely the responsible thing would have been just to keep the ball. Try and give your defence a break. Cherky, early ball in. Not fully cleared away, though. Beast. Not once, but twice there. Cleared away. And FAMALICAO just need a break more than anything else. And in the end, I was going to say, could he let it go for a goal kick? But he can't in the end. But early ball in. Not nodded away. And FAMALICAO, it just seems that it seems one-way traffic. And maybe that's by design, but it can't be sustainable. It can't be sustainable now for another 20 minutes. It just seems that, especially a side as good and as potent as MISA, it just seems it's only going to go one way.
Still feeling the potential sting of that counter-attack. Like you said, they're constantly keeping those 2 strikers forward, but they just haven't had that opportunity where they've been able to control the ball off the back of a tackle and send it that long way forward. Instead, there is that punch up, but the ball can bounce anywhere.
Oh, he's dragged it.
And that is the really, really rough parts of the game. They added a new mechanic in the recent FIFAs. It's FC's, my apologies, and it is that precision shooting. And you can really see it in the semi-finals and grand finals, the impact it can have when those nerves are really flowing, because that's all that felt like it was. It was a striker that was surprised that that ball would fall to feet, and I'm not exactly shocked that's the case. Hadji sends it to Alves! And I mentioned the sting in counter-attacking opportunities, and they've certainly been pricked by that chance. But ultimately, as long as that doesn't fall in the back of the net, it is good enough from the defense. The goalkeeper once more been tested. It's not to hold the lead. It's to keep them in the game. There's the counter-attack. It's been so rare with how much possession they've had. Turn it off.
You should have 2. I mean, look, I've done that a million times and won. in these EAFC games. I've done that so many times. But he's just dragged it. Both times he's dragged it wide. And, he's got to be taking at least one as a yellow card is shown for a FAMALICAO player after that foul. It was Hadji with the foul, but I won't care too much. It was a really good yellow to take, actually. But, both of them to Canella. He's got to do better. At least hit the target. Test the keeper, but he's done everything right. And maybe, I think we need to give him a bit of, leeway because they are the away side. And again, the ping. Yeah. It does play a part. It really does play a part. But he's so unlucky there. He's so unlucky.
He really is. Really, really is. But this is the difference between, as I said, being a great and being a champion. Those are just the opportunities that you have to tuck away, but we have seen late 2-goal equalizers in those semi-finals. Why should this game be any different? Is this too much for them? Corrales to the back post. They are the team that has done it, and it was actually a back post attempt that equalized them in the semi-final. This time, however, it won't result. Well. It is, in fact, the exact same player. They've got their playbook, and FAMALICAO have stolen it away from them and ripped it in front of their very eyes. 6 in-game minutes for a potential €1,000. How is your bottle?
Well, I mean, how good they've been FAMALICAO scoring goals throughout this Champions League season. A 1-0 win might seal it. And I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just that it's 5 minutes to go and every single throw-in going their way. I was expecting a fake throw, and there it is. You knew it was coming. As soon as the big wind-up, you knew the fake was coming. Long throw up the pitch. Alves, great hold-up play initially, but loses it out to Cherky. And this is just a take a yellow card moment. Every single one of those FAMALICAO players, you take a yellow, unless you're already on one, of course, because it just slows the play down. Alvaro, long, big boot forward, won by Gatto. It cleared away from Johnny. Alvaro will keep it alive, though, for MISA, and Blobby does manage to knock the ball out. He got the assist for the only goal in this game. Will it be the only goal? Beast knocks it over to Gutto and Johnny. There, the keeper's come up.
The keeper's up.
It's in no man's land. Alves, he does the responsible thing, switches play, and well, that might be it. Blobby, will he go for the shot or will he just keep the ball? Blobby! Oh, it's straight at the keeper, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter one bit for FAMALICAO. 1-0 on the night, but 2-1 on aggregate. They are your 2026 Champions League champions.
The Portuguese team do it again. One of the best that Europe has to offer. Prove their mettle once more in one of the toughest competitions in PFL history. As they improve, as do the teams alongside them. Can they keep up, or can you reach that step ahead? They reached that step ahead today. And of course, it was by those finest of margins. A goal within the first 10 minutes of the second leg. And 90 minutes of, I must say, some of the most defensive 11v11 pro clubs I have ever seen. I mean, they were taking the time on the free clicks, on the throw-ins, on the pickups from the keeper. Just a reminder, the clock slows down. So every time they do that, they are shaving mere milliseconds, as much as it feels like tens of seconds for us. But we saw last touches, last headers earlier today make the difference. In fact, it was enough for an invitation to the final in the first place. And MISA felt the taste of the other side that time. What a performance for FAMALICAO.
Absolutely. I mean, we got treated in the semi-final to a 5-4 in that second leg. So it's only right, after an attacking display, that we saw such a great defensive one. And I mean, look, it's the the age-old saying of great attacks win games, great defenses win the titles, and that's what we've seen. That is what we've seen. Just a brilliant defensive display from FAMALICAO, and look, at times it might seem as boring, but it doesn't matter if you win, does it? I don't think anyone really cares.
Absolutely
and
not.
Every single one of those FAMALICAO players are probably saying, job well done. And that is what the case was in that first leg, of course. Having been 1-0 down in that first game to MISA, they managed to get a penalty, made it 1-1, and then you go, right, now what for the second leg? Well, it's simple. You score a goal in the opening few minutes and defend for your lives. And they've done just that, and look, they are worthy champions. Absolutely brilliant from them.
And it took our time to get there, of course, for that second leg, but it was worth it once we reached our destination. What a journey it has been for all these teams. Of course, MISA Esports starting off with that 7-2 victory, then the 6-3, and immediately it just ramps up in those semi-finals, having to play PFC 11 Elite for that spot in Grands. It was the 9th goal overall to make all the difference on that side, and I believe it's actually been an extra goal rewarded for that penalty shootout they ended up playing. But on the other side, FAMALICAO having to take down Titans. Can't quite see who was in that quarters, but for your for your quarters, not your round of 16, you had Digital Esports, which they just squeaked out at those final moments. Same there for PCS Esports, who, by the way, to get there had to beat GSK and FTW, who are top sides when it does come to pro clubs as well. So a team that was steamrolling their way forward, being those giant killers eventually taken down by FAMALICAO, and it maintained its closeness in their scorelines as well for the final matchup. That is going to be an extra 1,000 euros added to their pockets, but also another trophy to be added to the cabinet. And well, this is just your moment that you would take to celebrate if you were one of those teams.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm happy and fortunate enough that I won the Div 1 title on Pro Clubs with my friends. I'm happy that I've said that, but it is nowhere near as good as this FAMALICAO side. Every single one of them, absolute warriors today, and you know, look, they've deserved it. For you know, I remember watching their game against Digital Esports last week in the quarters, and even in that game, I'm pretty sure they went 1-0 down in that one as well, to then come back and win against a very good Digital Esports side. So to then carry it on, and look, as you said, obviously the giant killers of PCS to go 3-0 up in that game. Pretty much everyone, I don't think anyone was really expecting them to go 3-0 up, but look, they held on, and it doesn't really matter if it's by 1 goal or 5 goals, as long as you win. And that's really the mentality that FAMALICAO have got. And look, you know, worthy winners, albeit by that one moment of magic in the opening 5 minutes after. And one thing I've maybe got to take into consideration, is the fact, because we've had a lot of replays, you know, because players didn't load in or whatever, maybe that's the reason why FAMALICAO got the early goal, because it was so far into, or so quick into the game. Obviously, we didn't know if it was actually going to be the real game, or if someone wasn't going to be able to load in. So for that chance to come in after what, 5-6 minutes or so, I think it caught everyone really off guard, and obviously it was just enough for the Portuguese side to win. So it's funny how these things work out.
Absolutely, and it feels like a very exciting chapter has unfortunately come to a close, but with that, more pages look to be written for the next, because, ladies and gentlemen, the next competition will be the PFL Euros starting on Saturday the 14th of March. Represent your country, see how deep you can go. Will the French be able to get taken down, as they did here in the Champions League as well? Of course, if you want to stay up to date, all the PFL socials are the best place to do so. That includes their Twitter, their Discord, and as well their YouTube. Always nice to follow so you can catch up with these streams. However, that's not all for the Pro Clubs action over here in PFL, because we also have Europe starting on Wednesday. That's going to be a completely new season to start fresh and create new legacies. Of course, prize pools and such will be announced very, very soon. Again, stay up to date with the socials, ladies and gentlemen, and you will get there first. But that's for myself, Sir Pegasus, and Dan. That has been an excellent way to close off the Champions League portion, and we hope to return for the next one. Any closing words from you, Dan?
Oh, yeah, more of the same would be nice, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We hope to return on the next PFL broadcast. Subscribe, stay up to date on those Twitter socials and Discord as well. That will be PFL out. See you next.
Change, it's in your eyes, these sparkle up the new light time. And in this race, I chase the high until I see the sunrise. I'm gonna get you, gonna